All right, let's fire up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. Let's see who else is awake and alive out there tonight. What is up, y'all? Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. A toast right off to you guys. Happy Michael Myers Monday. It is the first Monday of our new year. You know what I'm saying? It is November 1st, the day after the big day. That means today is officially, as far as we're concerned at Halloween Daily News, today is the first day of Halloween 2022. So welcome to it, guys. Happy Michael Myers Monday. How's everybody doing tonight? I see some familiar friends already gathering in the chat, as always, this week. I see Sammy is in there and Ken. I saw Byron checked in earlier. The Wolf is here. Happy Michael Myers Monday and Happy New Year. Al Samir says it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday. Even better. Happy birthday. I've been saying it a lot. I always say it around our house, but I've been saying it lately that to us, you know, Halloween and right after Halloween, everybody always asks, do you get the Halloween blues? Are you sad on November 1st? And it's like, no, because it's really kind of like New Year's Day for us. On many levels, you know, I mean, on the news cycle of Halloween Daily News, everything we cover, everything has kind of come to its, you know, conclusion for the year on October 31st. And then the next cycle, 12-month cycle begins news-wise. Also, just in our personal life, how we balance everything, how we celebrate the holiday. I mean, we live it every day. We have plenty of our Halloween decor out that is out year-round that never goes away. But we do have stuff that we bring out in October, September, you know. But so it's not a day to be depressed. It's a day to be excited. And like somebody said, 365 days to go. 364 now. And I always think of that opening scene in Nightmare Before Christmas where they have the big Halloween parade, and then it's right to planning the next Halloween. And that's the way it is, because every day is Halloween here, and every Monday is Michael Myers Monday. But this is the first one, like I said, on the countdown to not to Halloween, because every day is Halloween, but the countdown to Halloween ends specifically. And we are in it now. We are counting it down. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all had a good Halloweek and a great Halloweekend and the best Halloween ever. Let me know what you did for Halloween. Did any of you put on a Myers mask and go stalk your neighborhood's trick-or-treaters? That's what I did. That's kind of like my favorite part, I think, maybe of all of Halloween. I mean, I love it all, but man, I really do look forward to, even more than my son now, going trick-or-treating and getting in my, I took this one out, this one right here, this HK from Trick or Treat Studios. I took that one out last night, and I didn't have the burnt coveralls, but I did bandage up my left hand and hid my fingers, and had my new officially licensed HK knife on hand, and yeah, got quite a few screams of terror throughout the night, and we weren't even out that long or that late by any means, but it was a good time. So let me know in the live chat before we do anything, how did you spend your Halloween? Did you go trick-or-treating? Did you go see Halloween Kills? Did you watch something on TV? Was it a Myers movie? I bet it probably was. Here, let me show you guys. I've actually got a little bit of video here. This is just, this is not edited video or anything. This is, and it doesn't really have it sound, but this is just a little bit of video my son shot. This was actually shot on HK premiere night, October 14th, not last night, but that was my get up for last night. And with our new inflatables that you regular viewers have watched me unbox here. The two new Myers inflatables from Jimmy, and then there I am doing my best James Jude Courtney. It's not that great, but I do what I can. I am our neighborhood's shape anyway. But that's just a little bit of how we celebrated And here's a still that he shot. So that was basically me last night, stalking our neighborhood. How about you guys? David Sherwin says, watched Halloween 281, 40th anniversary, love it. And for you H281 fans, Dick Warlock fans, stay tuned. I have got something so sweet and special to debut for you live watchers right here tonight. It's not been shared anywhere, and it is straight from Mr. Dick Warlock himself. This is an exclusive world premiere. It's coming up in just a few minutes. You want to stick around for that. Wolf says his boss just became father again on Halloween. Best birthday ever, totally. And yes, I was quoting the mayor. Thank you. Al Samir's coming out with the questions, coming out swinging with the questions. Is there a character in Kills that I don't want to die in ends? I'd have to think on it, but right off the bat, I'd say Lindsay. Let Lindsay be the Halloween Ends final girl. How about that? That'd be shocking, wouldn't it? If everybody else died but Lindsay, I'll say that. I reserve the right to change my answer later though. But you put me on the spot. Sammy went to go see Halloween Kills in theaters again. Awesome to see it on Halloween night. Very cool. I love that. Yeah, my wife and I actually, we went to see it again on Saturday night on October 30th on Halloween. We had a very cool Halloween date, and that was my second viewing. And I'm going to talk more about that towards the end of the show. We'll talk more about Halloween Kills. I mean, I'm going to be talking about it throughout the show because it's still in theaters. It's the biggest thing. And since we last gathered here last Monday, of course, not only was it October 31st, it was Halloweek, and I told you guys I was hoping to bring you guys something special in the interviews department, and I hope I delivered for you guys. I couldn't say anything last week because it was not even definite that it was going to happen. But last week on Wednesday, we dropped our exclusive new interview. This is our third conversation total since 2018 with James Jude Courtney, Michael Myers himself. I hope you had a chance to check it out. It is here on the YouTube channel and of course at HalloweenDailyNews.com. I hope you've checked out all of our interviews we've done recently in recent weeks, especially with very many of the cast members of HK. But that chat with James, oh man, I just, you guys know me, you regular viewers know me and know how much I love James and what a thrill it is just to talk to him and to be able to work that interview in during Halloween when he was in so demand. I mean, he's in demand every week, but every national news market wanted a 5-minute interview with him. And so for him to work that in and to do that for us and for you guys was amazing. And I think he was just really amazingly honest and upfront with us about, exactly who did what as far as Nick's involvement and working with Aaron and Doug and just the whole production. I mean, we love James here, and I know you guys too, because a lot of you have dropped us some really great comments on that interview, and I really appreciate you all checking it out and appreciating it, and actually appreciating not just what James says, because I think he's just amazing, his performance, of course, and his just his the way his mind works. It's just beautiful, and the way he speaks of portraying the shape. As you heard watching that. But I really do appreciate the comments that some of you have directed towards me as well. And I hear you, I feel it, and thank you so much because I as that was going on, I was thinking of you guys and I wanted to be your voice in the room and make you proud. So thanks for checking it out, everybody. All right, happy Michael Myers Monday. I see we have a live chat, super chat. A super chat from ProtectSafes.com. Again, one of our regular viewers. Love you, ProtectSafes.com. Everybody, let's stop and toast for this $10 super chat. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Brad is checked in. What's up, man? Huge Halloween movie fan? Well, you are in the right place, brother. Welcome. Happy Michael Myers Monday to you. We're here every Monday geeking on all things Michael Myers, all things Halloween franchise, and often not limited to Mondays, but Mondays are definitely all about Michael. We keep that tradition going here. So thanks for being here, man. Again, I'm going to be off and on talking about HK pretty much all night. There's other things I've got here. There are some other little news items about the franchise that I do want to talk about because we haven't talked about them in the last 2 weeks because we had Carmella here, which was amazing and awesome. And then last week it was our Halloween episode, basically, our Halloweek episode. And we were just jam-packed with stuff and mainly talking about reactions to Halloween Kills. And we're going to do more of that because, again, my second viewing. Needless to say, though, I still love it. If anything, I love it even more. Not many issues at all with the film. As I've said before, my only thing, I'd love to see more of that Michael versus Tommy showdown, that climactic confrontation, because it is built up so much. And I love what we get, but I really wanted to see a little bit more to that. But man, I'll talk more about it later. But so much that I love, and so many more little things that I appreciated, just attention to detail and little bits of dialogue here and there. But it sounds like some of you guys got back out to see it again this weekend, fittingly enough, on Halloween, which is perfect. Larry loves my silver shamrock shirt. Thank you, sir. Well, it's November 1st, and, every day's Halloween, and Michael's out there, of course, but I figured we'd give Michael the night off, so to speak, and let Silver Shamrock do the cleanup tonight on Halloween Hangover Day, right? Darlene has checked in. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Art is here. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday to you, sir. Ken wants a Hobo Myers life-size figure, like our life-size animatronic. Hope you guys check that out as well. Look, before we get too deep into things, I usually try to do like a special kind of show and tell thing in the beginning. And tonight it's actually newsworthy and exciting because it's not only something new for my own collection, it's something new that we have in stock in our own online shop, HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. And what we've got is, finally, they arrived. Again, from Trick or Treat Studios. We just got them in stock last week, right before the big day itself. But we got the newly re-released, repainted young Michael Myers, age 6, from John Carpenter's Halloween 78, from the Halloween 63 scenes with young Michael Myers when he murders Judith. This is the officially licensed clown mask. Now, this is the new 2021 version. I stress that because this mask was originally released a year or two ago with a different paint job and a slightly different sculpt. Okay? I did shoot some video and some photos. Now, here's the original one. And you'll be able to see this better in a minute. Here they are together. This is the original release, and this is the new, more screen-accurate version. Now, these are just $15. Just $15. Plus shipping, of course. And we've got them in stock right now. You can order them tonight. I did put the link before I went live. I put the link down in the description of this video. So when we're done here, you can go there and order them. They're $15. Or if you catch us at a convention, the next one we're going to be at is all the way in February, but if we've got any left, then they'll be there, and you can avoid shipping. But they're probably going to go pretty fast, and we don't have a ton of them, but we do have some in stock right now. Yeah, Hunter and Wolf both agree the new one looks a lot better. Patrick says that is a big nose on that mask. Yes, and that is one thing that is a big difference, is the nose. Now let me show you guys, because I actually I took a few photos and some video, but none of it has really been processed or anything. So this is, but here's just a still of the two of them together, and just so you can get an idea of the paint differences. Obviously, it's it's pretty noticeable around the eyes. Big differences, and it is more screen accurate if you go back and look. I mean, the blue and the green is much more what you see on screen rather than the yellow. And yes, the nose was always big. The nose on this new version is much bigger. And to illustrate that, I've got let's see. I do have just a little bit of video. Again, this is not going to be like put together video by any means. This is just very raw with no sound or anything. Or there might be some sound, but anyway. Here, you can get an idea. This is just some unedited video. I'll have a better edited version, with some cool music and stuff. But just so you can get a little idea of the difference here. David Suber has checked in. I love it. Yeah, I mean, now for 15 bucks, it is a great looking replica. And there's a close-up of the new paint job. And like I said, the biggest difference is around those eyes, the upper part. But it's not just the paint. You'll see in a minute. I've got a little bit of video that let's skip over to here. There you go. There they are together. Now that's you can kind of see that right there. You can kind of see in this that the new one is actually a bit taller and skinnier. You see what I mean? The original release is a shorter, almost more like a kid head-sized mask, whereas the new one's a little bit more adult-sized, but still, don't think, don't think that if you've got a normal adult-sized head, that it'll be very covering you up very much more than the other one was. But it is a little bit taller and skinnier. You can see right there, in addition to the coloring. Whereas the other one was a little shorter and wider. The smile, the lower part, not big changes. But the biggest change is that the new one is, like I said, it's longer, taller, I guess. The paint around the eyes, very different there. And the nose, much bigger. And yeah, I tried to get a couple different angles to illustrate there. You can see a little bit more. You can also see that the new one, not only is the nose bigger, it's higher when it comes, it's a bigger mask. You can see where the chin ended on the other one. This one comes down around a little bit more. The whole thing is elevated off the table a little bit more, you can see. And again, I apologize for the shaky, unedited quality of this video. This is, again, though, it's an exclusive for you guys because you're here on Michael Myers Monday Live. And again, just trying to show you guys the differences in the sculpt. You can also see that blue around the eyes is actually elevated, whereas it was just painted on with a blue line painted on the old one. And it was the white part of the eyebrows that was kind of elevated. Here, that whole blue part is elevated on the new one. And that's how they sent them, Trick or Treat sent them with the card back like that. Some of them were a little bent like that, which I'm not thrilled about, but it happens in shipping. Most of you guys, I imagine, are probably going to take the card back off and display this on your wall. That's what I'm going to do anyway. And there's another angle. One more time just to show you the difference in the sculpts. So you can see. All right. So again, the original ones now become collector's items because they are no longer being made. So even though they are far less screen accurate, now they will become collector's items because they'll be increasingly more rare. But what we have now in stock, as of just a few days ago, literally, like we didn't even have them yet last Monday. I couldn't even tell you about them, but now we do. And again, I'll have a better edited video from that footage up probably tomorrow or Wednesday, and you'll be able to see. But right now, we've got them while they last. $15 at HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. If you need your Young Myers clown fix, there you go. Wolf says eyebrows completed. Super different. Yep. New looks so much better. Absolutely. Protect Safe says it's a weapon. With that nose, it could be. Yeah, I think the new one definitely looks a lot better. I wanted to get a still from the movie up here to actually have that to compare. Maybe next week or maybe in the finished edited video. Did you see Mezco announced a new figure? You guys know I love my figures. They announced a new 112 collective figure of, celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. Next year, Mezco is releasing a Halloween 2 Michael Myers figure, part of their 112 collective. Have you guys seen this? Are you aware of this? Take a look at some quick pictures here. Mezco does an amazing job with their collectible figures. It's expected to be released late summer or fall of next year. You can see it's got the bullet holes in the jumpsuit and the coveralls. Obviously, you're going to have your interchangeable heads with the blood tears. Stalking the hospital. Some great new shots there. That was just announced, I believe, on Halloween Day. There are some other news headlines that I wanted to bring to your attention that you might have missed because, a lot going on this past weekend. But on Saturday, on Hallow Eve, our friends at Witching Season Films, you might know them from their feature film They Live Inside Us and also their YouTube series The Witching Season. Just last week, I reported on their next feature film, which is going to be a Halloween slasher. Well, that same team, headed up by our friend Michael Baloff, a very talented filmmaker, what he has done is he actually has recreated the Halloween 4 opening credits sequence. Now, you guys know what I'm talking about. This is absolutely one of the best parts of any of the Halloween films. I mean, all the opening sequences have been great. That's one thing I want to talk about in a few minutes is the HK opening sequence. But the opening titles we're talking about here. But H4 arguably has the best Hallosphere. This is something that I started a hashtag for earlier today. I looked, nobody had used hashtag Hallosphere. That's my new official term, guys, for Halloween atmosphere. It's kind of like, what I rank highest on my rankings of films. If I'm, how's the Hallosphere? Because that decides how much of a great Halloween movie it is. Uh, so our friend Michael Baloff created these amazing opening credits montage from Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And he's even got his own composer doing somewhat of a recreation of the music. And what you'll see is these are his shots shot today as opposed to 1988 when the film was released. He went back to these very same locations, and as you can see, it is a dead-on recreation. He just changes the credits out, and he actually posted a really nice message on his Instagram on Saturday when they posted this, that how much just this opening sequence, just these 90 seconds, mean to him and helped direct his future as a filmmaker. And we love Michael Baloff because not only is he a very talented filmmaker, and he's an alum of our own Halloween International Film Festival and an award winner from that festival, but we also love him because all of his films take place on Halloween. He is one of us. He loads his films with my new magic word, guys, Hallosphere. And as you can see right here, super talented, able to go back to these same locations and recreate the epic, iconic Halloween 4 opening credits sequence. That's another one I don't even have up on the site quite yet. It'll be up there tomorrow. So I don't have a link down below, but you can find it on YouTube on the it's witching on the Witching Season Films channel. Go check them out. Subscribe to them. They're always doing cool stuff. Speaking of Hallosphere, Michael Baloff loves it so much. He released a whole compilation of Halloween atmospheres. Just video you can play in your background for some Halloween atmosphere. Trust me, they get it. It's a really talented group over there, and their new feature film is going to be, like I said, a Halloween slasher of their own creation. Looking forward to that next year. One of the many Halloween films I'm looking forward to next year. And just a cool project. I mean, we've seen a lot of fan films, we've seen a lot of scene recreations and stuff, but very cool idea to recreate those credits and literally go back to those same locations and dress them just as they were for that film. And the only difference being, he's shooting with his cameras, his newer, presumably digital cameras. So did you guys know about that? Did you see that earlier this weekend? David says that's dead on. Oh yeah, they nail it. Like I said, you can go watch it. Even the music, he had his composer compose new music, but it's like it channels that original music. It's dead on, and like I said, just a cool, unique project. And he says, that Halloween 4 is his favorite of the entire franchise, and because that was his entry point, and that's the one that really spoke to him, and right down to those opening credits, which, gotta say, that opening credits sequence is definitely among the best in this franchise. Maybe the best next to the original, or at least the best after probably Halloween 1 and 2. I do love part 2 with when it opens up to the skull inside. I love 2018, what they did with the rotting pumpkin. And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself going to the HK stuff, but I told you I'm going to be talking about it all night because it's still awesome. And I just watched it again 48 hours ago, and it's but the opening sequence in HK, because I was curious how they did that and what that was about. But apparently, that was all one pumpkin, much like how they did in 2018, and they actually burnt it. It was all practical and everything, and we know this now only because our buddy Christopher Nelson shared an awesome behind the scenes photo. If I can find it here, there's been a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff being shared. You know, in these last 2 weeks since the film's been out. You know what I mean? A lot of really cool, interesting imagery, and just in addition to our own interviews where we've gotten some really cool behind the scenes stuff. It's been great to get some more of this through just people like Christopher Nelson posting stuff like this on Instagram. This was in his Instagram story last night. Happy Halloween from our opening credits burned pumpkin. So again, I don't know how many pumpkins he. I said it was just one. It probably was other ones, but this was that final one, that flaming one. And I would love to hear the whole story of how they photographed that, because there was a great article explaining step by step how they shot the 2018 rotted pumpkin that kind of de-rotted itself as the credits went on. And how they shot it was they shot an actual pumpkin as it rotted over a period of weeks, months, however long it took. And they literally would take a photo. They had the camera set up, and it would like automatically take photos. I forget if it was like every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes or every 30 minutes, whatever it was, for however long it took. It might have even been every hour, and then they took all those photos and strung them together, and that's how you got that. So I'd love to get the whole story of how they shot the HK opening credits sequence, because it is awesome. And while I'm on the subject of those cool behind the scenes imagery getting shared over the weekend, Blumhouse producer Ryan Turek also shared this a few days ago from karaoke at Nick's Bar. This is what the mermaids were singing, and I love this Easter egg here, something that we didn't even really see in the film, but that's another thing that I really appreciated on this second viewing even more, was so much attention to detail, tiniest details, stuff that wasn't even really visible on the screen, and certainly not in the first, uh, viewing. But man, the song is called "She Doesn't Want You Anymore," which right there, title, I mean, pretty great. Pretty great considering the story we're telling, Laurie and Michael and all that. But the greatest part is by the Coupe de Villes. And you guys know, I mean, I don't got to tell you guys. You guys know who the Coupe de Villes are. You know, it's John Carpenter, Tommy Lee Wallace, Nick Castle. So I love that detail, and I love that we're getting some of these details, some of these cool little details revealed thanks to social media, and now, the production and the crew. And there's been tons more. I've tried to share some of these, but there's been so much good stuff. Including, let's just look at this now. We're into the HK stuff now, so we're gonna look at this now, and you guys probably saw this, but our buddy James, speaking of James Dude Courtney, did you see that behind the scenes video he shared today of them training for the firefighter massacre? Okay, all right. Let me just talk about the interview for a second. I'm assuming, all right, spoiler alert, obviously, if you haven't watched Halloween Kills, I don't know what you're waiting for, go watch it. Okay, so obviously we've all seen the movie, and I'm assuming if you're watching this live tonight, you've watched our most recent interview with James and Courtney. I hope you have. If not, go check it out, please. Excuse me. Let me take a drink 1 second here. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Here's what he posted. You can read his text while I'm clearing my throat here. James, we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about, how hard it was to film this film, how physically demanding it was with so many other stunt people involved. You think about the kills in 2018 and a lot of the other movies, actually, not a whole lot of other stunt people involved. Certainly not at once. I mean, there were, but man, this scene has, quite a few scenes where there's a lot going on, a lot of people, a lot of danger, and especially in that opening firefighter massacre and that closing mob fight. And James talked about both those, but look at this. Let me just let you watch this. I mean, this is 19 seconds, but I just love this training. And what James says is props to stunt coordinator Aaron Armstrong and his insanely talented and professional crew. And again, you can hear James talk more, but I mean, look at this. This is so badass. That is wicked, man. Look at that. And our boy James, I mean, looking like a badass Snake Plissken with his eye patch there. I mean, come on. That is wicked good. So good. One more time. One more time. I love that. I love that. I mean, I love it in the movie. I love just watching this rehearsal. It's so intense watching the rehearsal. You look at what James does. I mean, his body language. And that's one of the things, again, I'm just going to go into the Halloween Kill stuff, and then we're going to circle back around to some of these other things. But that's one of the things we talked about in that interview was the intensity of maintaining the shape in Michael, even when he's not even wearing the mask. Look at that. That's brutal. And I love the eye patch, too. That is badass, too. Anyway, you guys probably saw that earlier. Another thing I hope you've seen, and this is something else I haven't even had a chance to really publicly share out in socials yet, but our buddy Sean Clark just posted a new episode of his Horror's Hallowed Grounds. I was about to say the thing with two heads. That they did post a new episode of that as well, which is awesome. It's Sean and Christopher talking about Halloween Kills and my favorite video podcast out there, and they're back and with a new episode, so check that out. But Sean also posted a Halloween Kills episode of his Horror's Hallowed Grounds. Of course, that's the show where he goes to all the different locations where everything was filmed, and of course HK was filmed here in North Carolina in Wilmington, and that's where he goes, and some really cool stuff there. Again, I don't have the link down below. I'll try to remember to put it up afterwards, but you can find it. You should be subscribed to Sean's channel anyway. It's Malfunct Sean, SEAN, and just look for the thing with two heads or Horror's Hallowed Grounds. I'm sure it'll come up on YouTube if you're not familiar with it. But yeah, it is the first locations video for HK, and it's really cool, especially because that's all in driving distance for us. So I'm gonna use his video as a map one day here soon, and we're gonna go check out some of those locations and have a beer at Nick's Bar like he did, and like our legacy characters did. So you definitely want to check that out when you get a chance. And then there's also, I wanted to bring this to your attention as well. And again, it's not up on the site quite yet, but it will be. But Ghost, their song Hunter's Moon, of course, it was released a few weeks ago. And they released a music video, which does feature little Michael Myers in it. But Universal actually released the closing credits version, the end credits version of Hunter's Moon, just a few days ago on October 27th. And it is a different mix. It's the exact same song, of course, same lyrics and everything, but it is a different audio mix. Personally, I think the album version rocks a little bit more. I kind of prefer that mix, but it's definitely worth a listen. But the coolest thing that Universal did, and I don't know if you guys saw this, But they actually released a new video, uh, which has some of the footage of Ghost from the previously released video, only they take some of that out and replace it with a whole bunch of clips from HK. So what we've got is, some of you guys that are like my age, you remember when it was the thing for big movies to put out soundtracks, and the band would put out a video and they'd film stuff for the video, but then there'd be clips from the movie mixed in. Classic example you probably all remember is Dream Warriors by Dokken, where you have Freddie, Patricia Arquette, actually in the video interacting with the band, but then you also had clips from the movie mixed in. When Guns N' Roses did "You Could Be Mine," and you had Terminator 2 tie-in, stuff like that was in its heyday in the 80s and 90s. Don't see that very much now, and so I thought that was a really cool kind of throwback. The fact that they released that, and again, we'll have that video up on our site probably tomorrow. I was trying to do it today, but it's just been a busy November 1st. You guys know how it goes. But yeah, it's the end credits version, which is actually a different version of the song, and really cool to see. It's just a retro video. I got my that's another thing I forgot to do for show and tell, but I got my novelization in. It's a little bent up thanks to the mail or thanks to Amazon. I don't know who to blame for that, but I got my novelization by Tim Wagner. And I was going to say, I love that HK, they released these novelizations, which is kind of a throwback in itself. They did the pinball limited release earlier this year, which is definitely a throwback when everybody else is doing video games. And so now to do this, I think it's like another kind of throwback in that same way. This video that we don't really see that much of nowadays. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, you want to check it out. But we'll have it up on our site tomorrow. Al Suspiria says ends will take place 4 years after the events of Kills. Yep, we learned that at the HK premiere. Well, we kind of learned it before then, but David Gordon Green reconfirmed that part has not changed. And yes, it's taking place real time in 2022. A nice Halloween room. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is actually my office, but yeah, it's gotta be surrounded by the things I love most. So thank you very much, sir. Ariel checks in. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Cheers. Nathan talking about that video from James. So realistic how he shows the pure evil. Hell yeah. James is the man. Again, I'm not going to... I don't have a clip or anything prepared from our interview. I assume you've all watched it. It's been getting some good traffic and some really great comments, which, again, I'm really happy about. And the response has been great. And so I did, I urge you to check that out if you haven't. I'm not going to go over everything he says, but there's a lot of good stuff in there, and a bit of news. I mean that's a bit of news that Nick doesn't appear physically on screen in HK. I thought before learning that he was on screen somewhere, but not this time. And whether or not something was filmed or something, I don't know. It doesn't sound like that. So that's why I told him, Nick will have the credited record, and rightfully so, after ends of being the Shape in 4 films. So he will officially hold the record. But James now, after ends, will be the only one to appear on screen now, specifically as the Shape in 3 films, much less 3 consecutive films in this franchise. So when I told him he's making history, he definitely is. But that's just so like him, right? That he's not thinking about any of that right now. He might one day, he might maybe when he's chilling with Jamie Lee after they're done with all this. But he's not thinking about that right now. He's training. He's training. He's getting ready for the big chapter 3, the final chapter. So I mean, you just gotta love that because you got to be that way. You think if you're him, you can't stop and think about the history you're making. You just got to go make it. Then you can, maybe soak that in later on. But he's such a humble, gracious dude. I mean, um, just really great to have him as our Michael Myers right now. Am I right? I mean, just such a well spoken, great guy. Brad says, great interview. Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate it. As you can see, I love this stuff, and I do love James. I know you guys do too. Cheers to Dr. Loomis, R.I.P. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, they should have the novel at Barnes and Noble. I ordered mine off of Amazon, but yeah, you should go and get it physically if you can, because you saw mine not in great shape. But on the other hand, if I'm going to actually read it, it's going to get a little bit bent up anyway, and I do plan on actually reading it. Full disclosure, I still haven't read all of the 2018 novelization. I kind of cheated, did the Cliff's Notes thing, read a few recaps of some of the differences. I do plan to read that cover to cover as well. It's just, busy time, parenthood, business, all that stuff, house stuff. It eats in my time a little bit. And believe it or not, for being a writer and a fairly quick typist and writer, and I could, very slow reader, believe it or not. But I guess that's what audiobooks are for. I should get into that. Okay. Yeah, Ken is singing Hunter's Moon. I love that. I love that. Al says, how is Michael Myers so strong? You're asking the tough questions, but the easy answer, and this is my answer to anybody, there is no answer. It's because it's Michael Myers. It's the shape. It's the boogeyman. It's magic. That's the simplest way I can put it. He's magic. And again, I go back to, the people question, is he supernatural? Is he not? Is he? The key to that 78 film is that he's both. He walks that line. Loomis speaks of him and Tommy speaks of him. They talk of him as the boogeyman, as this thing, this entity that is larger than any man. Kind of like how Laurie, the new Loomis, talks about him now. Other characters see him more as just a creep in a mask, which he's certainly that as well. But then Laurie comes to the realization at the end that, oh, that was the boogeyman, and that's kind of the point. And again, I go back to my interview. It's been many years, but 5 years ago, I interviewed John Carpenter himself. I asked him that question. He said, you can read it at HalloweenDailyNews.com. He said he's both. And he said that in many other interviews. That wasn't an exclusive just that he told me and had never said before. He said it many times. He's both. He's both. He is a regular man, but he is also something more, something undefinable. He always has been. You look at that original film. That's why he's not there at the end. That's why he's not behind the bush when he runs up there. We know Laurie saw him. That's why Laurie's looking down there. He's there at the sheets, and he's there, and then he's not. Did he run away? Is he hiding behind the bush? Maybe. Or did he just poof disappear because he's the boogeyman? He's the boogeyman. That's the simplest answer I got, and it's going to frustrate some people, but yeah, when I and Sean's and if Sean's watching this, I'm going to say what Christopher would say. Sean, shut up and eat your popcorn. If you watch his video, he'll say that some of what Michael does doesn't make sense logistically, which of course it doesn't. But it's Michael Myers. He's going to do his work how he does his work, and that's going to be when nobody sees him. But I did notice, while I'm on that subject, one quick thing I noticed on my second viewing is one of the first things Lindsay says when they find her and she's been hiding is, I saw everything. I watched everything, something like that. And so that got me thinking, because Sean points out the logic issue of, so Michael crosses the bridge before placing the bodies on display in the masks and everything. He crosses the bridge and she's there. And then at some point, while she was still hiding, he came back. But, and again, okay, that's certainly a fair point. But, I would agree with Christopher Nelson at this point. And I'd say, oh, this is a shut up and eat your popcorn moment. It's a movie. And also, beyond that, it's Michael Myers. It's a shape. It's the boogeyman. He can do whatever he wants. But if you want to really, really nail it down, she does say, I saw everything. So maybe that could even be read to include, I watched him walk back over here, and we still don't know what happened to the two girls on the swing set. I mean, we see their masks, so we assume he caught up with them, but that's never shown. I mean, I would love to see David Gordon Green figure out a way to bring our friends Giselle and Salem back as Mindy and Christy. Dennis, I got a feeling he caught up with Dennis, and it appears he got those masks. We know. So what he did to get them. But when Lindsay says the very first thing, kind of under her breath, I saw it all. Maybe she watched all that happen. She certainly watched him walk back over that bridge and place everybody the way he left them, though. And in other words, maybe behaving how Michael might behave when he doesn't think anybody's looking, which who knows how he behaves when nobody's looking. I mean, he probably no different whatsoever. But Larry says Michael's not human. John Carpenter said he's part human, supernatural. Yeah, I mean, plus a human would not be able to carry the headstone to their house. Yeah, I mean, the headstone, the disappearing. I mean, he's always been, like Tommy says in his monologue at the bar, he's a ghostly figure. All right, I do have a couple other cool things, and then we can just geek out more on HK if you want. But I've got a couple other another news item, actually, a very cool news item that I don't know if you saw this. We actually put this up on our site late today. Dustin Langley has checked in. My parents bought me a Halloween Kills costume for my birthday. Well, happy birthday and happy Halloween Kills. Wear it proudly and tag us on Instagram or wherever you are when you wear it. I love seeing y'all's photos, and we'll repost and reshare. Let me get to this cool news item. Jennifer read the novel in one day. Nice. Picture what's going on in the movie. It's weird. I definitely will. Did you guys see this? Two of our favorites from this franchise. You know them. You love them both. Danielle Harris, of course, horror icon and Halloween franchise icon. Our own Jamie Lloyd and also Annie. Well, she has teamed up with another friend of ours, Scout Taylor Compton, of course, Laurie Strode in the Rob Zombie films. And they have just launched, as of yesterday, fittingly on Halloween, they launched their own new podcast. It's called Talk Scary to Me, which I think is an awesome name, first of all. And I love what they're doing here. The first episode was released yesterday, October 31st. And what they promise on this series is all things sex, love, and horror. And they deliver, I gotta say. I did listen to the first episode, and it's really good. And you can listen to it. It's out now. I listened to it on Spotify. It is on YouTube as well, the video version. You can watch it. You can listen to it on Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. It's there, as they say. But yeah, the first episode, again, they promise love, sex, and horror, and they definitely deliver, talking about each of those subjects. And I was actually surprised at the level of just honesty and openness that they are both showing in this first episode. I mean, they go right into some territory. I mean, it is definitely, they say right off the top that viewer discretion advised, that it is going to be frank and just, blunt and obviously sexual, and it's all of that. And and it's great. They're just having a conversation, and it goes from everything from getting their starts, both of them as young kids in the business. Danielle, obviously, with Halloween 4 and 5. Scout, actually, I didn't know, but she talks about this episode that when she was very young, she was doing skits with Brie Larson on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, which I never knew about. Like most of you guys, I kind of started following her career in '07 with the first Halloween film. Um, there's a lot of interesting revelations in this very first episode, I have to say, which I totally give them props and respect. And I think if it's any indication of what's to come, I think it's going to be a huge hit of a podcast, certainly for their fans, absolutely. And I just think for horror fans, and I imagine they're going to be bringing guests in, and I think they're thinking, and I would imagine probably for some young women out there, some young ladies who are looking about trying to get into the business and kind of look to them as heroes and idol type figures. I think they are going to give some useful lessons. It sounds like, and they do a little bit in this. Scout says that it was just a few days into filming of the '07 Halloween where she was already basically feeling um, hate, haters hate. And this was back in '06, '07, where it's not even quite the atmosphere we live in now. But so she was already dealing with that before the film even came out. And yeah, she admits freely that it does sting a little bit when, the franchise moves on. As Danielle obviously has experienced before. She experienced it before, and she's experienced it a second time. So Danielle knows that feeling, and Scout, and they actually talk about that, and are very blunt and honest about that, and up front that, yeah, it doesn't feel great when they move on. But they also recognize, both of them in this episode, they say straight up that they've seen 2018, and that having seen it, that was the best move to take this franchise into. As much as they'd love to be a part of it, would still love to be a part of it. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Um, but they see that, yeah, this is you know the right way. They respect it. Which I thought was awesome to hear them say, because I've been curious about their reaction to the 2018 film. I've never really heard that. And again, they get very serious about the sexual stuff. Scout is very open about being bisexual in this episode, and Danielle, it talks about some experiences she's had, including with same sex, and both of them talk pretty in depth about losing their virginity, which, again, I mean, for this being first episode, I assume they planned this, but it's kind of fitting that episode 1, first time, is kind of the virginity episode, because it doesn't take long before they're really into kind of losing their virginity. And Danielle even goes so far as to um, name some names, and I'll not spoil it here, because you should go listen to them or watch the episode on YouTube. But yeah, it's somebody you might have heard of, and what broke them up. It involves somebody else you might have heard of, and it's a pretty wild, interesting story. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you hear it. But again, just fascinating, and it got me thinking that how many stories like this that between the two of them they're going to have to share on this. They talk about girl crushes on Charlize Theron, and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And of course, they talk a bit, like they said, about horror. So episode 1, it just dropped yesterday, and if you're a fan of Danielle's, which of course you are, and if you're a fan of Scouts, which I'm sure you are, then you should definitely check it out. Again, I was just very pleasantly surprised with how, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was, they were just very real and down to earth and very honest. And it sounds like, they are going to admit to mistakes they may have made and experiences that weren't the best, and own it, and try to, help other people learn from it, which is great. And and they're clearly friends. They're clearly tight in real life, which is also really cool to see. I always love hearing about these relationships that were formed basically in Haddonfield that have gone on long after cameras stopped rolling. So it is called Talk Scary to Me. They've got a new Instagram account. Like I said, um, Danielle's YouTube channel is Horror Gal, and you can find info for all that right now over on HalloweenDailyNews.com. Two of our favorites for sure. Speaking of another of one of our favorites, did you see what the great Sandy Johnson posted yesterday on Halloween herself? That is, of course, our original Judith Myers, our friend Sandy Johnson, who we also were lucky enough to talk to here on the channel earlier this year, paying homage to one Kelly Meeker, played, of course, by the great Kathleen Kinmont in what movie, guys? We were just talking about it. Danielle's debut in, of course, Halloween 4. Now, this is just pretty mind-blowing because here we have, again, one era of Halloween paying tribute to another era. And you got to love that. And props to Sandy for her Halloween lore knowledge and getting it right. And there you can see Kathleen Kinmont herself commented with a bunch of hearts and fires and a jack-o'-lantern. I love seeing these franchise alums just all playing with each other's characters and having fun with it. You just gotta love that. And of course, everybody loves Kelly in that scene, and everybody loves everything that Sandy does. So this is just pretty amazing. She says, "Happy Halloween, love to all my fans. Here's a little treat in honor of H5. Love y'all, Sandy." You got to love that. I mean, that is awesome, right? All right, now I've got a little special treat for you guys, and this is really cool. And this, I still got to pinch myself sometimes that stuff like this happens. That this is my life, I mean, I get emotional sometimes just talking about Dick Warlock and his wife Kat. We've been fortunate enough to maintain a friendship and a relationship with them since 2015 when we first met them, and I interviewed Dick for the first time that year, and we've just kept in contact, and we've seen each other a few times since then, and hung out a few times, and so we've just kept in contact, and his wife Kat and my wife Sue, they text each other pretty, fairly regularly on big events, big holiday events, including, of course, the biggest of all, the only one that really matters, yesterday, right? So today it was really cool for us to wake up to a text from the Warlocks, Mr. and Mrs. Warlock. And they were just wishing us a happy Halloween and actually sent a few photos of how they were greeting trick-or-treaters at their house. Now, again, I hope you watched my interview with Dick Warlock, which we recorded back in March of this year, and it was released, I believe it was released in March. It was released over 2 parts. If you haven't checked that one out, again, when you're done here, please go watch that. It's amazing. He's amazing. But he talked about, I asked him, hey, do trick-or-treaters know they're at Michael Myers' house and stuff like that? He talks about that. So anyway, we asked them if we could share these images that they sent us with you guys tonight and on our social media. And they very graciously gave us permission to share these photos, which were not really taken for social media, and they weren't sent to us to say, hey, share this with it. It was just me being like, this is awesome. I know who else is going to love seeing this. Um, so they gave us permission to share these, and I'll probably post them on our IG tomorrow. But again, nobody else is seeing this. Nobody outside of their actual circle of friends that they might have also texted it to, who would also appreciate seeing stuff like this. So here we go. World premiere, exclusive, just for Halloween Daily News, just for Michael Myers Monday live, guys. The legend, the man, Dick Warlock, Michael Myers, the Shape in Halloween 2. He's also patrol police officer number 3, I believe, in Halloween 2. And he's also, of course, the assassin in Halloween 3, stunt coordinator for both those films. Living legend. Here he is with his lovely wife, Kat, at their house on October 31st, Halloween 2021. This is how they were greeting trick-or-treaters. Now, if you watched my interview, or if you know anything about the history of Dick Warlock, you know he loves his Westerns. He started working in Westerns. That's his favorite genre. The man worked with John Wayne. So, of course, like any self-respecting Halloween celebrating individual, he's gonna dress up. It's his favorite thing on this magical night. And there he is as a cowboy. And there you see Kat. She's got her whole outfit going on. And there they are. They got the Party City cardboard cutout Michael Myers, officially the Halloween 2. Very fitting, of course, that they have this with them. Pika has checked in with a happy belated Halloween. Happy Halloween to you. Hey, every day is Halloween. It's never belated here. It's never belated. Not here. Happy Halloween. Yeah, you never have to belate it here because every day is Halloween. It's just on October 31st, we go a little more all out than normal, but it's every day. Nathan Torres says off topic, but did you hear Jamie Lee might do girl's voice in Exorcist? Your reaction to that, please. I had not heard that. I'll have to. I don't know what my reaction to be. I'd have to. The girl's voice, the little girl's voice. I don't know. I don't know how that would work exactly. And here is 2 other photos that Mr. and Mrs. Warlock sent us. There they are again. That, of course, the one and only Dick Warlock with his likeness, the Halloween 2 cardboard standee. And Kat looks amazing as always. Love her costume. Man, Dick, he is such a great cowboy, isn't he? I mean, that's his passion. That's his how we love horror movies. I believe he loves westerns in that same type of passion, and he got to be in a lot of them. Andromeda has checked in. Happy Halloween. Pika says, hope he does cons again. We hope so too. Um, I don't think they'd mind me saying we did ask if they thought they'd be doing any this year, and as of right now, they don't have any. But they're, they didn't say they're ruling it out at this point. It's certainly not that he couldn't be booked. Believe me, I'm sure. I'm sure they get offers all the time. I think it's at a time where they just are going to be picky and somewhat choosy on which ones they do for obvious reasons. But yeah, And, you know, it's an event. It's an event when Dick Warlock is there. It's a big event. You know, he's not exactly on the circuit now like he was a few years ago. So it definitely makes it a bigger event when he is there, when he's not there a lot and not really on the circuit now. But yeah, I love these photos. I love that they sent them to us. And yeah, you can thank them for giving us permission to share them with you guys. Because I immediately I was like, this is so awesome to wake up on, you know, like I told my wife today, like November 1st, Halloween blues, Halloween hangover, not here, not at HDN, not when we've got Dick Warlock sending us uh, text messages of how he's greeting trick-or-treaters. Nah, no blues over here, no Halloween blues. We're feeling good. Every day's Halloween. And that's not even all that happened today either. I'm not even going to tell you about who else reached out to us today. I know I'm terrible like that, but I'm not gonna jinx anything. But I'll tell you, it's somebody else with this franchise that reached out to us today. I'm not gonna say much more about that tonight, but we'll have some interesting things to talk about very soon. I can promise you that. Speaking of interesting things to talk about, let me come back on here for a minute. Where are we? There we are. There I am. Anyway, I hope you guys like those photos. That's pretty awesome. I mean, that's legit, like exclusive. You ain't gonna see those anywhere else. No other site, no other live stream is gonna have those. And anybody else that shares them on social media, you can bet they're getting them from us after we share them, or they're freeze framing this. Yeah. Yeah, he does look great. He looks very healthy. He looks really good. Yeah, I mean, Dick Warlock, I mean, these guys, it's amazing the shape that they had to be in for their careers. And I'm talking about like Mr. Warlock and you know, James U. Courtney is an example of that. His whole life, he has conditioned his body to where now, you know, he can be the age that he is and kicking the ass that he is. And Mr. Warlock is another prime example of that. Somebody that, you know, took some beatings, but really was smart about how they maintained their health and their bodies. So, pretty amazing. Looks like the cowboy from Ghost Rider, Ken says. He should play that character. They should do a Ghost Rider with Dick Warlock. Let's see. Pika says, my supervisor is neighbors with the ventriloquist in Halloween Kills from the bar scene. Very cool. Got you his autograph. Nice. Very cool. That is awesome. All right, we are going to do some shout outs here in just a minute. But before I do that, I do have one more show and tell to share with you guys. This is just a showcase video, a quick little showcase video. I showed you my new jumbo pop last week, and as promised, I did shoot some better video of the box, the packaging, and then it unboxed as well, and also some comparison videos so you can see it next to the original standard sized H2O Funko Pop figure that has the same pose. But as I noted last week, and you'll see in this video, it's very interesting because that original figure was specifically licensed from H2O, and which is why it had some flesh around the eyes, you know, because in H2O you can see Michael's eyes a lot more than most of the other films. A lot more prominently. You see, he's not the blackest eyes for a lot of that movie. So it kind of made sense. All right, it's H2O. So this new one has that same head sculpt, same body pose, just bigger. But you'll see here, it's officially licensed actually from Halloween 07, unless somehow that's some serious packaging error, which I doubt, but it can happen. But I thought that was interesting that they wouldn't at least blacken out the whole eyes. I just assumed all along, seeing it, it was another H2O license. Just an interesting thing to note, and just, something that I always find interesting as far as what film it's exactly licensed from, because it is cool, I think, to have so many of the sequels now getting licensed out for different things. And we've saw so much from Halloween 2, speaking of Dick Warlock, so much from Halloween 2 this year, and rightfully so, with it being the 40th anniversary. Um, Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to tell you about upcoming exciting stuff. Again, I can't name the name, but we do have another interview scheduled for this week. Got a couple interviews scheduled for this week actually, but one of them is from somebody else. Not going to tell you who tonight, but somebody else involved in Halloween Kills. So, as I promised, our Halloween Kills coverage and interviews and chats and conversations, it's not ended just because the movie is over. We are counting down to Halloween Ends now. We are officially covering Halloween Ends now. But just like we do with this entire franchise, I love talking to these people. And you guys have responded so well to some of these interviews. I look forward to bringing more friends from this franchise in, and meeting new friends of the franchise that maybe I haven't met yet, or I haven't gotten to talk to yet. And also, again, catching up with some that we have done interviews maybe in years past for the website or whatever, and maybe bringing them back now in this video format that we're doing and you guys are responding to. So there's going to be more of that. I mentioned that last week and a little bit on Friday's Halloween show. So we're definitely continuing with the interviews for sure. And we're not done with even Halloween Kills interviews by a long shot, much less franchise interviews, much less all the other cool people that we're starting to line up to bring here on the Halloween Daily channel and have these awesome conversations with, and people that just love what we love, cool movies and the greatest time of year, and celebrate Halloween every day. But yeah, not gonna say the name right now, but another Halloween Kills interview is coming, and not just that one. There's other ones being scheduled as we speak right now. Things are in motion. Some big things that you guys are going to like. I tried to deliver something big and special for last week for Halloween with James. I hope, well, I know you appreciated it. I feel that you appreciated it. So when I say I'm trying to put some big stuff together for you, you got a little idea what I'm talking about. All right, now I'm going to play this showcase video of my new, this is not for sale from us, it's for sale. You can get it from Funko. We actually ordered ours from GameStop. We initially pre-ordered it at Amazon. It kept getting delayed with no anticipated shipping date. We ended up canceling that, ordering from GameStop, and it got here within a few days. This is the new Funko jumbo-sized Michael Myers Funko Pop figure. Check him out. Yes, I do have a weakness for the Myers figures. As I've said before, I don't collect pops as pops, but certain figures, certain, Michael, Sam, I got a Jack and Sally, got a couple Star Wars ones, but trying to have all the Michaels. Now, I still got to get that new standard size with the new pose. That one I still haven't been able to get my hands on quite yet. But there was a quick shot of all the ones I've got at the end there, except for the original Chase, the Glow in the Dark Chase, which is kind of the grail of the Myers Pops, I guess. And I include my Stranger Things Max when she's wearing the Myers mask from the Halloween episode in season 2 of Stranger Things. I include her in with my pops, of course, my Myers pops, because you got to. Pika, yeah, that would be cool. That would be awesome. Dylan, thank you so much. Yes, yep, we got them all. Let's quickly. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but let's jump over and do some shout outs, shall we, real quick? It is, like I said, the first Michael Myers Monday of what I consider today to be, well, it's after midnight technically yesterday, but I consider November 1st to be the first day of Halloween 2022. And as it pertains to Michael Myers in this franchise, we'll also call it the first day of the official countdown to Halloween ends. So it's a monumental day. Every Monday is a monumental day to celebrate, worth celebrating Michael Myers, but it's worth celebrating today because we are in, like I keep saying, this is the best time ever to be a fan of this franchise, to love this shit. It really is. I mean, I've seen a few of the criticisms about this movie, some people, and again, I'm not even going to address a lot of that. I addressed a little bit of it earlier, but really, can't we all just be excited and happy that we live in a time where we're in the middle of a 3-movie cycle of films, and we've got a great Michael Myers and James Jude Courtney. We've got people that really give a shit behind the scenes, that really love this franchise. I follow a lot of the crew and some of Christopher Nelson's team, and just people that you don't even see on camera or necessarily know their names, but I see them celebrating this month and the success of this movie, and celebrating their love for it and that they are there. And you heard James even say that some people on that crew left other projects, told them, yeah, I'll come work for you, but when Halloween Kills starts, I gotta be there. That doesn't happen all the time in the film industry when you're living from job to job. But so that's awesome. Anyway, I say all that because we are celebrating the franchise, the greatest fans, and part of that is celebrating the hashtag Michael Myers Monday. I started that hashtag back in 2013, and it's taken on a life of its own. So every week I try to share just a couple of the cool tweets and Instagram posts that people have used with the hashtag. It's not even fair because it's in no way representative of even the best ones from today. It's just a couple that jumped out at me that I can share, and I wish I could share them all. I try to retweet them all and repost as many as I can and share in our stories. But there's a ton, and everybody has taken it upon themselves to make it their own. Like I said, sometimes it's cosplay, it's collections, it's tattoos. A lot of people showing off their ink. It's art. It's it's everything. It's memes, it's videos, it's funny gifs. So here's this week's shout outs. And I gotta start with one of our favorites, Linda Vanderclock at Totally Linda V. This is part of the Halloween verse. I've talked about them plenty. They're always great. They're still killing it. And yeah, October 31st may have come and gone, but all of these parody accounts are worth following. They will brighten your day and keep you in Haddonfield all year round. So Linda today, on the day after, says, my neck is totally killing me today. And there you can see. Wasn't it great to see PJ in HK2? Can we talk about that just for 1 second? Quick little aside. PJ Souls, who told us, she told Mad Monster first, all credit, And then she told us when we talked to her on the record at Scares of Care that there was something to look for with her and HK. And there it was. We see now what she was talking about, that TV clip. And while I'm bragging on ourselves just a tiny bit, where'd you hear it first? That our buddy Jabral Nantambo was going to be back as Julian. That's right. You did hear it first here on the HDN channel. Way back in 2019, our first Scares of Care. That's where we met Jabral, and we talked to him, and he was gracious enough to give us an interview, and he told us back then that he was going to be back in Halloween Kills. He told us even then that he was not going to die in Halloween Kills. So he is a man of his word, and we thank you, Jabral, for that scoop and that exclusive you gave to us all that time ago. And now we all see that it has proven to be true. So just gotta pat ourselves on the back. My wife Sue actually did that interview, and that was a great one. I hope you guys check that out when you get a chance. You can find all of our interviews anytime here on the channel or at HalloweenDailyNews.com. All right, real quick, back to the shout outs. Just a couple more. One more from Twitter here. This is at Sherry Davis. Actually, she's at Davis Sherry. She says, attention, this is Nurse Sherry Loomis reporting from Smith's Grove Sanitarium in Haddonfield. Halloween may be over, but Michael Myers is still at large. And then she shares her IG link. This is pretty damn good. She has created her own in-universe character, nurse from Smith's Grove, Sherry Loomis. And look at that Smith's Grove Sanitarium clipboard she's got. She's got James on there. She's got the mask, the knife. This is brilliant. I absolutely love it. Great work, Sherry. And yeah, thanks for introducing us all to Sherry Loomis. All right, moving over to Instagram now. Got just a couple good ones over there. A lot with this theme today, obviously. Me on November 1st. This is our buddy at Average Jam. He actually played Michael Myers in the short film Halloween is Canceled that was released last year. And also, if you saw that contest winner, the Face the Shape contest winner, he was Michael Myers in that reenactment. He is a great Michael Myers reenactor. And he shared this today, very fitting for today. Another one along that theme at Groovy Horror says simply November 1st. And yeah, I guess Michael's just going to chill on the bench until it's his day. And this, I love. Darrow Cosplayer. Look at this. Happy Michael Myers Monday, he says. That mask looks great. It looks like it is a Trick or Treat Studios that has been repainted. Looks really good to me. And that is this week's Triple M shoutouts, guys. As always, use that hashtag every week, hashtag Michael Myers Monday, and don't hesitate to tag us on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're at. Here's one more thing I just want to talk about for just a second before I sign off for the night, guys. We're talking about Halloween Kills. We're reveling in the Halloween Kills. If you watched the interview with James, I talked about a moment, and after my second viewing, I think it is probably my favorite moment in the film. And it's when the shape, James, is chasing Karen, stalking Karen. She's got the mask. She says, "Come and get it," and he does. Uh, I love that sequence so much, and I told James I love it because we've seen Michael without the mask, but I think every other time we did, he was very unshape-like. Not unshapely. I mean unshaped-like. You know what I mean? Un-Myers-like. He was, when it was Tony Moran, he was very disheveled and kind of, let me get it back on. And anytime we've seen him as young Michael, even in Rob Zombie's film, when it's young Michael, he's not behaving like the shape yet. Even when Tyler Mane is unmasked for most of Halloween 2, it's Michael and it's the shape, but he's not. It's off-season Michael. Let's say that it's off-season Michael. This was something entirely different, and I told James that, and you heard his response, how he feels it's very important for him that the shape be the shape with or without the mask. The mask does bring its own gravitas, to use excuse me, to use one of his terms. I'm getting emotional here, but I love that scene. It's got so much power in it, and I love that it's my buddy James doing it too, because you do see him, and you do see that nobody else but him could play it without even seeing a close-up of his somewhat burnt face, which you do actually, right as he does put that mask back on, they do for a second show a close-up of that damaged side of his face. They don't linger hard, and we don't want them to, but it's there. Everything is there, but I love the shot. Him just stalking Karen, him just out of focus on the porch. This is what I'm talking about. This moment here. I mean, I made it the thumbnail for tonight's live because I just love this moment. This is not the 78 flashback. This is the climax of the film. This is unmasked Michael coming for his mask. And I just love it. I love how all of that is shot. I love this sequence right here, which, by the way, Sean goes right to this location in his video. Huge props to him, as always. He's the master at finding these locations, and I can't wait to visit some of them myself in Wilmington. But, man, this shot, I remember seeing it in the trailer and saying, holy shit. And now to see it, how it plays out in the movie, I just love it. I love this moment. It captures every essence of the shape of what makes Michael Myers creepy and scary in the first place. And it does it even without that gorgeous mask. I mean, I love the mask. I love Michael in the mask. I don't want to see Michael without the mask, but I love seeing Michael sometimes out of his element. Fighting with the mob at the end was another time I felt we had not really seen that exact scenario play out, and I loved it. Byron is back. What's up, man? Andromeda says John Carpenter is writing the music again. Well, I hope so. He better be. I certainly hope so, man. Yeah, without the Carpenter soundtrack, Halloween Ends would not. I mean, I love all the changes he did in Halloween Kills. How how it steps out of some of the established tones and just way that some of these themes are presented. And I love the changes. I love that opening credits. I love all the changes to the themes and the new themes. The track Hallway Madness in particular, I absolutely love it as it plays in the film. That was another thing I really was able to appreciate even more this second viewing, was that glorious, beautiful soundtrack. Man. Ah, so good. Nathan says, what if ends? Lori still has mask, puts it on her face, and kills Michael. Anything's possible. CH's kills made my Halloween great again. Hell yes. There you go. Soundtrack is amazing. Yes, it is. Hope we get an expanded edition for the soundtrack. I got a feeling we probably will, because I did notice a few tracks in this rewatch that I don't really recognize from the tracks included on the song. So there is some other cues and stuff that they could add for that expanded. So I wouldn't be surprised by them. Larry says H281 vibes with the unmasked Michael stalking Karen. Yes. And I mean, Dick Warlock, I mean, God, he is so good in those scenes. And how about in the interview, just to go back on that for 1 second, Rampage, yes, yes, Andromeda, Rampage. Oh, that track is probably my favorite track on the new, and how the scenes it's used for. Oh my God, so good. But how about in the interview when James is talking about working with Aaron, the stunt coordinator in the 78 shape, and how he was sketchy on it at first, and but then he learned that Aaron practices the martial art of Aikido, and James says that he spent a whole decade practicing specifically Aikido, and it's one of his many martial arts he practices. And he says movement is so important in Aikido, and specifically how you walk. He talks about how you don't lift your feet when you walk in Aikido. It's like gliding, and how that's so important to how the shape moves. And then learning that Aaron Armstrong, who's going to be playing the 78 shape, the younger version of James, essentially, also practices Aikido. And so, of course, this is info that only James U. Courtney and possibly Aaron Armstrong could give us. Who else had these conversations with the two of them? The people that hired them didn't have that conversation about Aikido and movement like that. But to hear that come from James, and then it makes so much more sense when you see it on screen. You do see those movements. And that is part of why I love James' movements so much, because he does have that gliding, that ghostly, and that is the shape when you think about it. That is so the shape. That is the shape walk. It glides. He barely even steps. That is noticeable, not in some like big, not a Jason or Leatherface chasing you kind of way. And Michael doesn't do that. That was another one of the absolute best scenes in the movie, is when he's stalking Lindsay. In other words, the shape stalking, James U. Courtney stalking in Halloween Kills. Probably my favorite stuff more than the kills. Loved it. I mean, talk about classic Michael. I mean, he tapped into it like he always talks about. He tapped into what Nick Castle created and what Dick Warlock refined, and what all those guys have brought to it over the years. And James is able to tap into that. And to his credit, even Aaron, I believe, was able to tap into that somehow through working so closely with James, I imagine. And even if it was a subconscious thing, I think that happened. And how Doug tapped into it, hey, you watched that interview, I hope too. Doug, who did some doubling for James on the roof of the car, I think he tapped into it very easily because he's been preparing his whole life to play the shape. So that's how he tapped into it. And of course, Nick doesn't have to tap into it. He just is naturally the shape that he helped create and embody. All right, that's my ramble on, guys. That's my show. I can't believe it's already 12:30 at night. Another 2 hours down. I figured we'd be on here for like an hour tonight, honestly. But I'm glad you stuck it out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't put you to sleep. And if I did, I know Carmela says that sometimes she falls asleep listening to us. So, Carmela, if you didn't make it through the end of this one, I understand. I get it. No problem. No problem. We're just happy to be on in the background sometimes. But if you did make it to the end, then congratulations, guys. You made it. I'm wrapping up now. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Happy Halloween 2022. Happy countdown to Halloween ends. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Brad says, how many would say H Kills is in your top 5 favorite Halloween movies? I gotta look at my rankings, man, but things are gonna be revised, and I think I'd probably raise my hand on that. It's tough, man. It's tough now because I really do like these last two movies a lot. Uh, Byron says, "Imagine if I was being chased by James Dean Courtney to the Shape Hunts Allison, and then Unkillable came on. Nice. All right, well, those are the soundtracks I want if I'm getting killed by Michael Myers. Hey, maybe in ends, right? Maybe they'll need some YouTube talking head to come on, or I can be a reporter like they had in H2. I'd love to be interviewing. I could be a podcaster interviewing Allison or somebody like that. No, Jabron, yeah, let's bring Julian back. Because he'll be a little bit older now, and he'll yeah. Maybe I'll be a true crime podcaster interviewing Julian in Halloween Ends. Because he's got to be in it now, right? He's got to. They got to bring him back. David Gordon Green's great about bringing his surviving characters back and tying it all in. So, let's see, Larry. I hope they leave it where Karen really died because seeing at the end. Yeah, I've seen a few suggestions that maybe Karen didn't really die. She died, guys. I'm telling you, they're not gonna pull a. Please don't pull a resurrection and retcon your ending. No, I don't believe they're gonna retcon that at all. She died. And did you see how it's pretty much the Judith kill done again? That's one area I would improve if I was going to nitpick that final Karen shot. And I think one of you guys might have suggested it first. I don't know. But I would definitely have seen it through Michael's POV and it been a Judith kill, basically, because they're standing on the spot, more or less. And it was. I mean, there was reference, it was, I got it, that was what it was supposed to be, but the POV would have completed the whole thing perfectly. But no, she's dead. I think. Yeah, she got to be. I'd be surprised and probably disappointed if she wasn't. But she did. All right, guys. Judith vibes and Psycho vibes. Oh, yeah, a little Psycho, too, for sure. Sure. But definitely Judith vibes. Definitely Judith vibes. All right, guys. This has been a blast. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. Stay up to date on the notifications. Turn them on if you haven't. Follow us on the other socials. Lots of cool stuff coming. Lots of interviews we are lining up right now. I can tell you Halloween Kills interviews are not done. I can't tell you who right now, but I usually like to announce on Twitter first, right after we film one. Hey, we just wrapped with so-and-so, or we wrapped with, so you'll start to get some hints there. But there is more coming. We're filming some stuff this week. We got other stuff we are scheduling, like I said, right now as we speak. It's all super exciting, both for this franchise and outside of this franchise. If you love Halloween, if you love Michael Myers, you are in the right place, and we're not going anywhere. The plan going forward during the off season, during the moving into winter months, it may not be every single week. We're just going to play it by ear on how much I have to share with you guys, how much news there is, how much I have to share with you guys, how much content. If it's a real slow week, then we're probably going to skip that Monday. And there will be a few weeks that we'll be skipping and just not doing it here, especially as we get closer to like later November, December, January, the winter months. And then we're going to gear up again around March or so after February's Mad Monster Party and really get back into the routine of the weekly stuff. But bottom line is we're not going anywhere, even through the winter, even through the holidays. We'll be here. Of course, any breaking news, we're going to be here. The plan is to be here every Monday, but like I said, we're going to kind of play that a little bit by ear for the next few weeks and just see how much news is coming out, what's going on. I do expect news about the filming of Halloween Ends very soon, some confirmation on that. So be looking for that. And there's still a lot of new merch releases coming and a lot of other cool stuff, unboxings and so forth that we're going to have to share with you guys. And like I said, interviews, lots of cool interviews that are coming. So stick around for that. All right, everybody. That's my live show for tonight. My battery's about to go off. I can't believe I got all this in before it did because it has been 2 hours and it gets really hot after about that second hour. So it's going to cut off on me any second. I'm going to get out of here and go chill out and look forward to another year with you guys. Michael Myers Monday. This is where it's at. Tell your friends. This is where all the cool kids are hanging out on Monday nights. Subscribe, check out our other videos. We got lots of unboxings, showcases, like I said, interviews, all that good stuff coming your way. And I'd love to hear from you, as always, down in the comments. Let me know what you think about anything we talked about tonight. You can find out more at HalloweenDailyNews.com. And make sure you are here for the next live stream. How are you going to know when that is? Subscribe. Turn on the notifications. All right, guys. One more time. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. This one's to you. All right, guys. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching. And happy Michael Myers Monday!